Overall impression. The cover belongs to the horror film The Hole in the Ground, and the design leans hard into uncanny minimalism. Muted tones, a child's face that seems normal at first glance, and then something is wrong. That sense of wrongness is the engine of the entire composition. The palette is desaturated, nearly monochrome. That washed-out look creates a cold, earthy mood, fitting the title's reference to the ground and what lurks beneath it. Your red blanket in the background gives the whole scene a little warmth in reality, but the cover itself stays icy. Central image. The child's face dominates the cover. The lighting is soft, almost portrait studio quality, yet the emotional impact is anything but gentle. Two details stand out. The eyes are almost metallic, light gray, highly reflective. They draw you in with that classic horror movie tactic. Innocent face, predatory gaze. The mouth is corrupted by the presence of a large insect, perhaps a beetle or spider, caught crawling across the lips. It's subtle but deeply unsettling because the child looks unfazed, suggesting something unnatural beneath the surface. This combination of innocence plus contamination is the main thematic trick. It signals the film's changeling-inspired horror without spelling anything out. Typography and titles. The title, The Hole in the Ground, is broken into an airy, symmetrical layout. Hole and ground mirror each other. The word the sits inside the O, forming a neat visual anchor. It's a restrained design, giving space for the image to breathe and the viewer to feel unease. The typography feels intentionally clean, which contrasts with the horror element. The kind of contradiction that suggests something well-ordered on the surface but disturbed underneath. At the bottom, the slogan, "Fear the familiar," reinforces the theme. Something close to you, something you think you know, becomes horrifying. Physical stickers and labels. You can tell this is a library copy from Göteborg. The barcode label reads Folkbiblioteken i Göbegö. The Swedish age rating icon shows 15. There's another symbol with 16 on the bottom right, likely part of a distribution or internal cataloging system. Small remnants of an old sticker sit in the top left corner, typical wear for a circulated library DVD. These mundane elements create a nice contrast to the eerie artwork. Everyday real-world markings over a supernatural story. Condition and surface. The plastic sleeve has light scratches and reflection stripes, classic signs of handling and shelf life. They don't obstruct the artwork much, but they give the cover a slightly ghostly sheen in your photo. Theme summarized. This cover is working with a classic modern folk horror aesthetic, the uncanny child. The natural world turned threatening. The idea that identity can be stolen or replaced. Clean visuals hiding something rotten. It's quiet horror, the kind that whispers instead of shouting. Overall composition. The back cover leans into restrained dread rather than spectacle. A single dominant image occupies most of the upper half. The back of a woman, standing still, facing something unseen. Her hair is tied loosely, and her nightgown has a washed-out floral pattern. The pose is stiff, almost mannequin-like. That turned-away posture is a classic horror trick. It hides the eyes, leaving you guessing whether she's herself at all. The muted gray-brown palette from the front carries over. The art direction wants you to feel the damp chill of Irish woods and the sense that reality has shifted just a few degrees off-center. Above her, a review blares. Superbly scary horror. The Guardian. 5 stars hover above the quote like a constellation. Story summaries in 4 languages. The film markets itself across Scandinavia, so you get plot summaries in Swedish, Danish, Norwegian, Finnish. All four descriptions give the same core narrative. A young mother, Sarah O'Neill, moves with her son Chris to rural Ireland to start over. What begins as a quiet new life veers into nightmare when Chris disappears into the forest. He returns, but something is off. Sarah finds a massive sinkhole and starts suspecting that the boy who came back is not her real son. There's a strong changeling myth vibe, an ancient European folklore thread about children replaced by something otherworldly. The text also points out, the film premiered at Sundance. It has scared audiences worldwide since. Central image, woman from behind. The woman's back-facing posture suggests several thematic things. She could be Sarah, confronting the unknown. She could be a double, a replacement, a figure who looks normal but isn't. Leaving her face hidden lets the viewer project their own anxiety. Her floral gown is deliberately old-fashioned, ghost-like. It feels like a garment from an abandoned farmhouse, timeless, creepy in its mundanity. Film stills. A thin row of still images runs across the lower middle. Chris, the boy, with an unreadable expression, controlled, emotionless, suggesting the uncanny. Sarah distressed, likely realizing something is wrong. Older woman, possibly a character who understands the lore or warns Sarah. Sarah in panic, holding Chris in a protective or paranoid grip. Forest shot, emphasizing nature as threat. The images form a little emotional gradient, innocence to suspicion to madness. Technical information. Below the stills lies the technical block, typical for Nordic DVD releases. Languages, subtitles. Subtitles, Swedish, Norwegian, Danish, Finnish. Audio, English Dolby Digital 5.1. Running time, 1 hour 26 minutes. Aspect ratio, 2.35 to 1, classic widescreen, cinematic. DVD region and format, PAL format, standard retail DVD. This disc is copy protected, warning is included. Legal text. A dense wall of credits and copyright lines fills the bottom third, the usual boilerplate, but visually it adds to the gritty, cluttered, unsettling vibe because it's almost unreadable in the low contrast. Age ratings. The film carries age warnings across the Nordic countries. Sweden, 15, 15, 15. Tillatt for burn over 15 år. Norway, 15. Finland, 16, with a spider symbol for frightening, horror themes. That spider icon is a neat little thematic echo, a visual nod to the horror crawling at the edges of domestic life. Barcode, logos, and distribution. The lower left corner houses Barcode, distributor, Non-Stop Entertainment. Various DVD format logos. Dolby, PAL, widescreen. A small note. Retail DVD only for sale. These down-to-earth elements contrast nicely with the eerie artwork. Everyday signals stamped on a supernatural narrative. Thematic tone of the back cover. The whole design radiates quiet dread. Not jump-scare energy, instead a creeping suspicion that the world is subtly wrong. It leans into isolation, folklore horror, uncertainty about loved ones, nature as a force older and colder than human reason. The cover whispers its threats instead of shouting them. Overall visual impression. The disc artwork mirrors the tone of the cover, muted, cold, deliberately distressed. The entire surface looks as though it's been brushed with fine streaks or worn-down texture. That isn't damage. It's designed to resemble weathered wood or scratched soil, tying back to the film's obsession with earth, decay, and things lurking underneath. The black and grey palette keeps everything subdued. Nothing bright, nothing warm. Even the printed whites are intentionally faded. Central graphic. A faint image of the child's face appears in the upper left quadrant of the disc. It's partially obscured and cropped, so that only one eye and part of the cheek are visible. It's clever. The disc behaves like a fragment of the cover's portrait. As you rotate it, the eye appears and disappears, reinforcing the uncanny atmosphere. The child staring from the shadows of a spinning disc feels like a horror Easter egg. The expression is identical to the front cover, neutral, slightly uncanny, and lit to make the eye catch light first. Texture and surface appearance. Your photo shows a large number of reflective streaks across the disc. These come from the disc's matte coating, which catches overhead light unevenly, especially under warm indoor lighting. Many library DVDs show similar micro-scratches, but these seem mostly superficial and part of normal wear. The functional area, the clear inner ring, looks intact. Typography. The title layout is the same as on the cover. Hole, the, int the, ground. Spacing is wide, minimalistic, almost ritualistic. It gives the title a slow, echoing feel, as if etched in stone instead of printed. The disc uses thin serif fonts, keeping with the film's modern folk horror aesthetic. Clean, but quietly unsettling. Logos and technical markings. Around the lower left and lower right perimeter, PAL format logo, Universal Pictures Home Entertainment logo, Dolby Digital Audio logo, region marking, standard DVD region icon, the disc identification number 754914/NSED. Everything is printed lightly, blending into the textured background rather than standing out. It avoids the typical DVD clutter and keeps the mood intact. Design tone. The disc artwork is a continuation of the film's core thematic message, something familiar, partly seen, partly hidden, watching you. It's understated horror. No gore, no monsters on display, just the implication of something wrong beneath the surface. Even the use of partial imagery, half a face, scratched textures, faded type, emphasizes fragmentation and uncertainty. The design team clearly wanted every physical element, cover, back, and disc, to share the same quiet dread.